What's going on, Inspire Tribe? It's your girl, and I am back with another video, guys. Today I have a personal Q&A, and this one is just for me and me only. I'm very excited to ask these questions. You guys gave me a lot of really great questions. I tried to put a little bit of the fun questions in there, but I really wanted to get deep with you guys. So I am going to be doing more of the in-depth questions. If you guys want a very light, what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food type of video, you can let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys stay all the way to the end because these questions keep getting juicier and juicier and better as we go. But that being said, we're gonna get straight into the video. Before we get into the video, guys, check out my Hello Kitty tracksuit. Like, hey, okay, so we're gonna get serious now. We're gonna get into it. Whew. All right, guys, so my first question is, what would you tell yourself 5 years ago that you know now? 5 years ago would put me at roughly 18 years old. I was just about 6 to 8 months before I moved to Arizona. So really I'm just kind of looking at that period of my time, like what could I have heard before, one, moving out on my own, and two, moving completely out of state, like 2,000 miles away from my family. Who you surround yourself with is a direct reflection of what you got going on here, and who you surround yourself with is who you will become. I truly think that I wasn't hitting my highest potential, or I wasn't even like really getting close to hitting my highest potential because of the people that I was allowing myself to be surrounded with. I thought that just because, I have a different mindset than others, or, I want different stuff out of life than my friends, that shouldn't affect our friendship and that shouldn't affect us hanging out every day. But I really, truly feel like that hindered my growth a lot. I feel that if I would have noticed that and understood that 5 years ago, that I could have positioned myself just a little bit differently. And I'm really big on, you are who you hang out with, inevitably. Even if you think that you're different, oh, well, I have a different mindset, or I want different out of life, you are who you hang out with. And that's just really important to me. Question number 2, my favorite weird food combination. Oh gosh. I honestly don't really know. The first thing that comes to my head is I love me a good peanut butter sandwich. I feel like people who haven't really tried that, maybe you have, but every time I'm like, peanut butter and butter sound good, everyone's like, what the fuck? I don't know, I'm a jelly bitch sometimes, but I gotta specifically be in the mood for jelly, peanut butter and jelly. I love me some peanut butter and butter. So good. On a sandwich, that's all you need. So good. Number 3, how did your past relationships change you as a person, and how did it change the way you think/view other people, places, things? So I've only ever had 2 serious relationships. I would say that they both changed me in different ways. I feel like my first relationship is so hard to talk about how that changed me because it was just so long ago. Literally was 5 years ago, five plus, So I feel like I can't necessarily talk based on that relationship because like I said, obviously it changed me in different ways, but I changed so much since that change, if that makes sense. So I guess I would more so just really have to kind of put this one on my last relationship. And I would say the last relationship I was in changed me for the better. I can honestly say changed me for the better. I would never ever change anything about my last relationship. I wouldn't change how long I was in the relationship. I wouldn't change who the relationship was with. I wouldn't change anything about it just because all of the learning lessons that I got from that relationship, if it wasn't for that relationship, I wouldn't be on YouTube, straight up. I will give that person their flowers when it comes to my channel. If it was not for them, I would have never been introduced to YouTube, and for that alone, I will forever be grateful for. I will forever be grateful for that because, that relationship really positioned me to understand myself in ways that I didn't even understand myself, put me in a position to understand, like, hey, like I said, I've always wanted to be something big. I've always wanted to do big things, but I just never necessarily knew how I was going to get there. And when I got introduced to YouTube, like, that changed my whole perspective on it. Like, I knew how I was going to get there. And, you know, that alone changed me a lot. Like, my channel has changed me a lot. So, like, just imagine, you know, the change that, you know, like, I went through being in that relationship. How did your past relationship change you as a person, and how did it change the way that I think and view other people? It changed the way that I think and view other people dramatically. And I don't think like in like a way of like, oh, like I don't ever want to be with them, like I hate people, but it just like really made me you know, value my boundaries and value myself. You know, like I really just took into consideration a lot of things I did for the person and that they did for me too, but I just really took into consideration like what I give, what I'm willing to give, and how far I'm willing to go in a relationship, but really just making sure that I'm with the right person while I do that, or that person's in the right mindset to receive that love. I don't necessarily think that person made me, you know, hate life or hate love or not want to be with anyone, but just like really just my attitude towards myself and my life really changed. I'm still like healing, and I'm still in the process of letting go. So I feel like that's something I could definitely go more in depth on, maybe further down the line. Fourth question, my least favorite color. I don't like saying that a color is like my least favorite. So like, I'm gonna just say the least favorite color that I like wearing. And I would have to say probably white and cream. I don't know. It really just depends. Like if I'm looking how I'm looking now, like after a bitch got some sun, like I body every color. Like I body every color. But like if it's like midwinter and I'm washed out, pale as hell, keep the whites away from me. Like I can't wear no goddamn white. I'll be looking way too pale. I'll be looking almost damn near sick. So I would say my least favorite color to wear would probably be white. But like I love all the colors. Like I love wearing the colors. So if you had an hour with any successful person and could ask them anything, who and why? What did you ask them? Okay, if I had an hour with any successful person and could ask them anything, like immediately I want to go straight to Eric Thomas, but he's gonna be my mentor and I'm actually gonna be able to ask him questions. So I would have to say Sarah Jakes Roberts. What question would I ask her? What I ask her is, how do you just like allow yourself to flow freely when it comes to speaking? She does a lot of, like I said, she does a lot of preaching, she does a lot of motivational speaking. But like me being a motivational speaker, you know, there's definitely been times where I'm like, I just don't even know what to talk about anymore. Like I feel like sometimes I have to allow myself to face more adversities and challenges to gain motivation to speak on. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like running out of ideas and I'm like, I done talked about everything. Like how do you, you know, continue to find things to talk about? She's just someone I've always really looked up to. She inspires me a lot. Her words, her delivery when she's giving those speeches and when she's speaking, is just absolutely tremendous. I look up to her in all aspects, as a woman, as a speaker. Number 6, my favorite childhood movie. Straight up, I'd have to say The Parent Trap, because I literally watched that like every single day since I can remember. Like my family used to say I used to watch The Parent Trap when I was like 6, like I didn't even know the words to it type shit. So definitely probably have to be The Parent Trap. Number 7, what struggles did you go through to get to where you are today? I feel like this question, there's so many struggles I went through, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many struggles I went through just in this last year, and then just in the last 2 years, just the struggles that I went through since I've lived in Arizona, period. So if I'm just gonna give a general struggle, what struggles did you go to get to where you are today? I feel like definitely struggling with, I struggle with my mental health a lot, and I think I still struggle with my mental health. but really struggling with that voice inside in my head. And I know that you guys, you know, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but I know that a lot of people, like, you know what voice I'm talking about, like that voice that contradicts everything you say, especially every positive thing you say or every positive thing you feel. That voice that tells you that, like, you're not good enough, or like you can never make it, or like that was super embarrassing. But because I just overthought everything, because even if I was like, yeah, I can do that, there was that voice that creeped in like, girl, you can't do that. And I feel like that really helped me get to where I was today. Like, if it wasn't for me having that voice inside my head at such a young age, and me overcoming that, and I wouldn't say fully overcame, because like I said, I still have that voice that pops up, but I just know how to handle her now. Like, you know, like, okay girl, like, you can talk shit for the next 2 hours, but after that we're going back to saying affirmations and writing down what we're grateful for. Like, you don't got that much time, you know? I feel like that's really helped me be able to speak on sensitive topics, to open up more, to connect more to you guys. Because it's like, I know what you're going through, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there before, I'm still there. And that, to me, it was a huge struggle, because I think it allowed me to struggle when I first started YouTube as well. Like, I was like very hesitant about posting certain videos. Like, I had a lot of content. I'm not even gonna lie. When I first started YouTube, I had a lot of content, and a lot of that content never got posted because of that person in my head telling me, oh, well, you look weird, or, oh, they're gonna say stuff about that, or they're gonna judge you, or, you know, just like completely contradicting everything that I made the video for, and just like wouldn't even post it because, like, I told myself that I just wasn't enough, or, you know, I wasn't good enough. Or even staying in friendships and relationships that I was no longer valued because I told myself, well, you're never gonna find anyone that loves you, or you're gonna be alone forever. Like, things like that really, you know, definitely were a struggle for me. And I think now that I'm like pushed myself out of that, out of believing that person, like I said, I still have those thoughts, but I just don't believe her. I don't believe what she says. Everything she says to me is a lie. Like, when I have those thoughts, I know that it's just a liar in my head that I'm just still working on healing and removing as a whole. Number 8, how has being a Native American woman with a lost culture been challenging for you in life? Especially being a like biracial Native American woman, it really, like, I feel like I went through a huge identity crisis, like middle school, high school, more so high school. Just not really knowing like who I was, just not even being tapped into my culture at that point, because like I grew up with my culture, but I just grew up, like, that was just so normal to me. I think that really made it challenging for me in high school, because I just knew I was always different. Like, I always felt different. I always related to certain things differently, or just didn't relate at all. Just growing up with that culture loss, and being like in touch but out of touch caused me to have an identity crisis growing up. Which brings me to the next question, which was also a really good question. Number 9 is, what do you as a Native American woman think we should be doing to help support all the lost Native women and children, presumably to sex trafficking, and how does it affect you and your youth? The very bland answer before I get into it is education. You can't be an ally, or you can't be an ally, you can't be a voice until you've educated yourself. And I feel like that's, for me, why I've been maybe so hesitant on fully coming out and being that voice for just MMIW and Indigenous peoples, because I'm still in the process of reconnection and education myself. The first thing that anyone can do, whether you're Native or whether you're a non-Native, and you want to, you know, bring light or be a voice to these topics, is always educating yourself, and educating yourself in the right way. You know, not educating yourself through Google, but educating yourself by other Natives, by other Indigenous First Nations people, and just listening. Just listening is a great way to learn. I feel like sometimes people, non-natives, try to always like approach other First Nations, Indigenous people with a lot of questions, or I think my great-great-great-great-grandma was Native, or, you know, just doing a lot of talking when sometimes all you have to do is listen. You can learn a lot by listening.
just being an ear as well. You know, when someone's getting up and they're sharing a story, or they're sharing their point of view, or they're sharing anything at all, just listening to them can educate you a lot. And then asking questions when needed. I think it affects the youth the most because by taking away our youth, we don't have anybody to pass down this knowledge, the traditions, the culture, the ceremonies, the language. We don't have anybody to pass that down to. So by losing youth, by our youth, by our younger kids, younger children, younger teenagers going missing, it is directly impacting our culture as a whole. I'm trying not to say too much because, like I said, guys, I'm still in the process of learning myself. I am a voice. You know, I am a voice. I am an advocate for First Nations, Indigenous people. But I can't fully be that voice right now because I am still in my full education process. So there is certain things that I just don't speak on because right now I'm listening and I'm supporting my gals, my peoples on the front line that are speaking and that know what they're talking about and that are saying and delivering so beautifully. I'm trying to just learn from them right now so that when I get up there and it's my time to be a voice and when it's my time to speak, that I can deliver and impact just as much as they are. Number 10 is what makes you the happiest in life and why? My channel. Like, my channel makes me the happiest. Like, you guys make me so happy. Like, the support and the love, the feedback, the advice that I get from having this channel, and the people that I meet from having this channel is like spectacular. Like, it makes me so happy. It makes me feel like I'm just doing something powerful and positive in life. But I also would have to say water, and I know that's like such a weird thing to say, like what makes you the happiest, but like water. There's just like something that like the water just heals something inside of me, and I just like can't even explain it. And that feeling that I get when I'm in water, especially a large body of water, it just like brings out like the inner child in me, like the laugh that I have when like the waves are picking me up, and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just in the water. It's like full, pure peace and serenity, happiness. So yeah, I would say like honestly they go hand in hand. Like my channel makes me the happiest, but water does as well, you know? And water is just like the main source to life. Like if it wasn't for water, I wouldn't be here. So number 11, something you went through that changed you. And I think this also, what struggles that you went, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, but it's also different, so I wanted to put it on there because I think it allows me to share a story. There's a lot of things that I went through that changed me. Something I went through specifically in Arizona that changed me. Like, I don't know if you guys, like, I don't think you guys, no, I know you guys don't know, but like, I don't think you guys realize, like, I have definitely, like, there's definitely, like, only so much that you show through social media, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't show my struggles on social media, but, like, I definitely went through a lot of adversity and struggles when I moved to Arizona, you know, just that, like, transition. When I moved down here, I didn't have family, I didn't have friends, and it was a huge culture shock for me. And then at that, like right when I moved down here, COVID happened, so like shut everything down. I didn't have I didn't have a way to like go meet people and, you know, make friends and things like that. I didn't get to experience certain stuff. Definitely when things started like picking back up and like getting back to normal again, you know, I struggled with like just getting back out in the world and working, and I was just like living off my savings for the longest time, and then it just like got to a point where it's like I can't live off my savings no more. There's gonna be like nothing in there. So for a while, like I was like super down bad to the point where like I didn't have money to like, I didn't have money to turn my Wi-Fi on, and I didn't have money to turn my electricity on, and I barely had money for rent or food. Like there was literally like, I remember so specifically, like there was a month where like I went without all of that, and I would literally get home from school. I was in cosmetology at the time, and I would literally get home from school, and like my neighbor would literally buy me a little bottle of wine because like my neighbors, I should say my neighbors, like buy me like little bottles of wine because they felt bad for me, and I would just sit on my porch until it got dead dark outside and just drink wine. Like just drink wine. I wouldn't say I was like an alcoholic or anything like that because like, you feel me? I wasn't even really like getting drunk, but like I would just like sip the wine and just cry, listen to sad music and cry. I think going through that and then going through that alone, like I didn't tell my parents I was going through that. I didn't tell my friends that I was going through that. I didn't reach out to anybody for help. I'm not that type of person like ask for help. Like if I got something going on, like I'm the type of person to distance myself from everyone and get myself through it, and then I'm able to just like, you know, then I can like go to other people like, hey, sorry, I had to like, you know, kind of step back, like I was going through said thing. But like I'm just not the type of person to like ask for help while I'm going through something. Like I'm just the type of person to figure it out by myself. I think you know, just going through that period of adversities and lack of, you know, just like motivation. I didn't have motivation. Like I didn't even want to get up and work. I didn't want to get up and post on social media. I didn't want to get up and do YouTube. Like I didn't want to get up and do shit. And that, you know, that's why I talk a lot about, you know, taking breaks and not being hard on yourself, because in that break period, I was so hard on myself that I think it like made it worse for me. Like I think it made it worse for me by being so hard on myself. So just allowing yourself leeway and allowing yourself to go through struggles and hardship, because I truly think that it makes you more of a real person, you know. I used to like always cry to myself and be like, why am I going through this? Like, why me? And now that I've like really pushed past that and like I see where I am today, I know why I went through that, and it's because now I'm able to relate to more people. You know, by going through that, instead of just being like, oh, I understand, like, no, I feel you, because I real life went through that same thing coming up too. But going through that alone really changed me and just allows me now to be more of a relatable person. Question number 13 is, what is my biggest fear about pursuing the path that I'm on, and how do you overcome it? The biggest fear that I've had/have, because, you know, I'm still working through it. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I fully overcame it, because, you know, I feel like that's just like not a realistic thing to say. But it would definitely have to be like the hate that I was gonna get just being on TikTok, being on YouTube, being on social media. That really, when I first started, like really, like I said, like hindered me posting certain videos or posting certain posts, because I was like, I don't want to get hate. I don't want people to comment hateful things or mean things. And now it's just like really practicing not allowing those things to bother me. Like now it's like you comment something and like I don't give a fuck what user 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fucking tells me. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like I'm doing something that makes me happy. Like, and not all of my videos are perfect. Not all of my posts are perfect. I'm not a perfect person. I live and I learn. But really just like not allowing that voice inside my head to tell me that others are gonna hate me or hate on me. Because I feel like when you put that out in the air, like I said, when you hate yourself, like you're gonna just attract that hateful energy. But when you love yourself and you show love and you radiate love is what comes back to you. Like all that little, you know, hateful stuff are just from people that are not happy within themselves. How I overcame that is just like really realizing not to take anything personally. Like how other people are treating me or talking about me or what they're saying to me has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. My last question for this video, number 15, is, what do you think about the lack of mental health awareness? This question was a really good question because it just got me thinking about the lack of mental health awareness. I haven't thought about that because we don't have people, we don't have people out here advocating for mental health awareness, specifically depression, specifically anxiety, bipolar disorders. We don't have people out here advocating for that. What do I think about the lack of it? I think it paints a false image for our generation. That's what I think it does. Because, you know, a lot of times we get on social media, and like I said earlier, we only post what we want to post, you know? So it paints this false narrative that like we're all these like social media influencers or people on social media are all these perfect people. And it's just like you start seeing all these people and no one talks about it. So it's just like, damn, like all these people are perfect. But I wake up every day and struggle with anxiety. Or I wake up every day and struggle with depression. And it's like you don't have anybody to relate to or advocate for that. And I think it just paints a false generation it just paints a false image for this generation. I, as a creator, a content creator, and a YouTuber can definitely open up more about. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at, like trying to get myself to do, you know. That's why I've been trying to do like more Q&As, and like I haven't been trying to flood your guys' feed with Q&As, but like I just really want to be more open with you guys, and I want you guys to tell me what you want to hear. For a while I was posting just tons of motivational videos, and I was posting everything I needed to hear, and I love that I did that for myself. I have great videos to go back and watch, but I want to post stuff that you guys want to hear and you guys want to relate to, because at the end of the day, I want to relate to you guys. I don't want to relate to the person that I am a year from now, or I was a year ago. You know, I want to relate to you guys. I really think that I'm trying to bring myself to that point of being open when it comes to those days that I have where I'm lacking motivation, or I'm not feeling the best, or I'm feeling super anxious, or I'm having an ADHD moment and I just can't seem to get my fucking shit together. You know, I want to be more open with you guys and just share more stories and experiences. I hope that answered your question a little bit. What do I think about that? Like I said, just painting a false narrative for this generation. But I, myself, as a content creator and YouTuber, can definitely do my due diligence on my own channel and on my own social media by bringing more awareness and being more open myself with mental health awareness. Thank you for all those questions, guys. If you asked me one of these questions, or even if you asked me questions and I just never got to them, thank you so much for asking me questions. These questions were all really good questions. I would definitely love, you know, like in a few months to do another Q&A, like once I've elevated a little bit more. But I love doing Q&As. I love when you guys ask me questions. I love answering questions. I love getting deep with you guys and getting personable with you guys. It's just really, I just feel like it helps me connect to you guys, so you guys just like stay tuned more, and you just feel like you know me. At the end of the day, I want you guys, like, even if we've never met before, if we've never talked in real life, even like if you're like, I don't even think she knows who I am or knows my name, you know, like I want you guys to feel like you know me. You don't ever gotta be scared to say anything to me or message me or swipe up on my stories or anything like that. That being said, guys, that is gonna wrap up the end of this video. If you guys stayed this long, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.